This podcast is sponsored by Intentional Living magazine, your ultimate guide created to help infuse purpose and passion into your everyday life. From expert features that provide valuable insights to thought-provoking content that sparks transformation, this magazine, an online platform, is a perfect source of inspiration for all of those of us who truly believe in the power of intentional choices.
Hi, and today's episode of Can We Just is all about human design, but learning it from an empowered place, which for us is really important. Isn't it, Clarabelle?
It's very important. It's not just about knowing human design, it's about embodying human design and living and breathing in the framework of what your soul came here for.
I couldn't have said it better myself, love.
Thanks.
Good morning, Clarabello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
I'm good now because we've just prepared.
After the last one.
After the last podcast that we didn't prepare and talked about it, we've just prepared and been really intentional with this one because this is something that we're really passionate about. And it's, Can we just talk about human design and our accreditation?
Wow.
Yeah. So let's start off. For those of you that might be new to human design, we've got episode 4, which tells you all about it. It gives you the basic overview, and there's also a link in the show notes to obviously the website and the free chart and report. So you can always go to that to see it. But we'll start by asking you some questions around human design and what it is in a nutshell for anyone who's listening.
Okay. You ready? Okay, human design is part science, part spirituality, delivered to us via a blueprint, which is based on the time and place of your birth. And it's the science of differentiation. And what that means is that we're all designed to be individual and to live and be and flourish in our life as that individual. However, society has us all believing or treating us as we're all the same. And when we follow and understand our human design principles and the blueprint, which is specific to you individually, then life flows easier and things happen in flow rather than life feeling like a battle all the time. And so, we love it, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
We absolutely love it.
Those of you that have listened to the podcast or friends or clients or in our communities, you'll know how much we love it and how much it's changed our life, embodying it. It's because this is what we talk about all the time. It's great knowing it, but if you're not actually living it or embodying it, then there's nothing's going to change.
There's no point about knowing it.
So great for personal development. Great. We do ours through the lens of the 8 pillars of wellbeing, don't we?
We do.
And that also that includes the emotional pillar, the mental pillar or the brain pillar, the physical pillar, the environmental, so your environment that you're in, your relationships, your finances, your community, your career, your business. So that whole rounded view of every single area in your life, you as a human being, as an individual, as the soul that you've come to this planet to be, you can flow a bit.
Absolutely. And your human design is your manual.
Yeah.
And you just follow a few rules. But the rules aren't the same rules that society expects of us. So it's a case of relearning and tweaking and stepping into something that might be completely alien to you. But once you start doing it, it's magical. So your human design for us is like the lining paper of the cake tin. And then, what we use it for every single client, whether we're working on business strategy, whether we're working on well-being, whether we're working on health, whatever we're working on.
It's about performance, isn't it? In every part of your life.
Exactly that. And this forms the foundation of it because we all perform differently. We're all designed differently. We're designed to eat differently. We're designed to be in different places. We're designed to work in different ways. We're designed to interact with the world in different ways.
Designed to take in information in different ways,
and
making
so,
decisions and responding to life in different ways.
And so because of that, we are really tuning into the celebrating individuality. And as we use it, obviously, for parenting, which we've talked about that before, education, recruitment, business, sales, all of it. All of it.
Couples therapy.
All of it. Like the whole shooting
Family
match.
therapy. Yeah. It's
all of it.
Because it's human beings.
It's human beings. And having the ability and the strength to go, actually, we don't all have to be the same, and we don't all have to do it the same. And yes, of course, there's frameworks, and yes, of course, there are processes to follow. But for me, a process is a guide.
It's a framework.
It's a framework, but
for you to deviate from, isn't it?
Love that, Clarabelle. Yeah, to deviate from. Yeah. So it's so powerful, and it's how it sets our stall out for how we are here to shine. And I think one of the main things is, and one of the main questions that comes up is, well, how do I find out who that was? Because ultimately, when we were born into this world, and some would say that we choose our parents and we choose that. Some would say that that's absolute bonkers. But when we're born to our parents, and we're born into an environment, and we don't get a choice of that. And when we arrive on this earth, there's very little, apart from generational stuff that comes with us, there's very little that's already pre-programmed in there. So everything that happens beyond when we take our first breath is learned behaviours.
Yeah.
And obviously we're looking at, all the baby wants to start with is to feel safe. That's all. So it's looking for safety, and it's looking for that. And then once it's gone through that piece, it's safety, and then it's trying out the world. It's trying and finding their feet. Now, obviously, you're finding your feet, and your learning comes from your parents and the people that teach you things, and your teachers in school, and the people that you grow up around.
And what you see, and what you hear, what you feel.
And what you're exposed to. And that is where your conditioning starts. And conditioning gets a bad rap in life, really. In human design as well sometimes. But on the other side of conditioning is a whole vast pool of knowledge and wisdom, because you've experienced all of that stuff, and you also then have the choice to say, well, actually, what I learned when I was 5 about, or like for me at 3, that I wasn't quite good enough because of a past experience, because of an experience. Well, I don't need to choose to accept that now. So what work do we need to do to change that perception? And if something isn't 100% true for 100% people, 100% of the time, then it's a belief, and your beliefs can be changed. So it's a case of going through this. It is the self-development, the self-awareness piece. It's stripping back the layers, really stripping back the layers. And that can be a blast. But it can also be a real journey, because once you start seeing stuff, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
And so what's really important for us about doing it properly is that we're also trauma-informed. Because some of the stuff that may come up for you may make you question elements of life.
Question it a lot. I question it a lot. The people that you love, the people that you grew up with, the way that you know things, because you're just seeing things in a completely different light. And good stuff, bad stuff, it's like all neutral, whatever it is. Obviously, we'll pick up beautiful stuff along the way, but we also pick up some other experiences, as that's what life's all about. And
reminding people that of their innate brilliance.
Yeah.
Like, because they're an individual, and because they might have been brilliant at something, let's say creative and art, but then they've been rammed into a school system that isn't celebrating that. They just want them to take in information and rechurn it for an exam paper. They've had to adapt and mold themselves into that. So we're not saying that this is a negative experience, but it does bring with it almost like lots of realizations and lots of emotions as well.
It's awareness, isn't it?
Massive.
You're just so much more aware. And then you can get to choose then from
and there's the
that.
wisdom.
Yeah.
And so that's the good stuff.
Yeah.
But us, and the reason that we do things properly is because if this stuff, there's quite a lot of stuff in human design out there in the marketplace at the moment that's really not empowered. It comes from a negative place. And, you know, people that have said to us before, oh, I've got loads of undefined centers, and I go, wow, that's amazing. But they might have been told or taught that isn't amazing.
Yeah. And the reasons why.
And the reasons why. And actually we'll go, wow, all of those are just areas of absolute power and wisdom because you get to choose in those areas. So, and because of all of that, the other important piece about doing it properly is because some people can, and we've met some people that have been taught, in inverted commas, certain things that have led them to be in a really disempowered state. It's really freaked them out, going, well, hang on, like questioning everything about their life. So, And
that's why with our work and the accreditation that we do, so we work with human design, as you said, with our clients, with our family, with communities, with organisations that are embracing it and they're feeling the benefits of it because they're seeing more results, because the people are more engaged and we're using the gifts. We have an accreditation, and it was something we used human design in our clinical trial as well, in the life freedom method. So we have an accreditation teaching people human design, the knowledge, the modules, the depth of it, which is 12 months long.
Well, the embodiment. And I think I was going to say, so we teach them the mechanics of it through the lens of, so the mechanics, and going from understanding each of the, rather than giving you high level, you will know how it's all made up, how it's all built up. But the bit that you lead on amazingly is the embodiment piece. And it's about not just knowing it, but then stepping into it and embodying it. And it's the somatic piece.
Yeah.
And the word somatic, for anyone that doesn't know, and if I'm teaching you to suck eggs, soz, just means body. It's the body. Somatic means the body. So it's about how that impacts the body. And we also teach about how our nervous system is impacted by what's going on as well. And so then when you bring in all the neuroscience and the embodiment pieces, literally people have gone to a whole new level of awareness.
And that is a future podcast, isn't it? When we have our accreditation, our first cohort are coming in on the next podcast session. So it'll be May, June it's released. We want them to come in and tell their story because we, as I say, we work with people with human design, and some people will just come for like one session, like an intro session for a reading, and just to take some gold nuggets away so that they can go off and do it themselves and try and incorporate that in. But if you join us on the accreditation, which in our beta round was 9 months, but we've made it 12 because we've learned that we need to hold this space for our students for that length of time, because you need that support. Because once you start studying human design and embodying it, your life is here and everything that you know is over here. But people typically come on this who are on a personal development journey anyway, and they want to incorporate it into their own businesses or their own life, that they'll go, okay, well, I want this. And it's like, well, please know that when your life will go from there to over here with such change that some people, it's a massive transformation, isn't it?
Huge, even for the people.
And this life that you know has to break down. And I don't mean that in because there are obviously, like there's the people in our group, there's people who've had massive changes and things have broken down and the universe has sent them things that's led them on another path. And it's been challenging for them. But it's like, if you want this life over here, all of this life that you know here has to fall away for you to get to this place, for you to embody, but to trust the process. And that's how we can hold the space with it.
So that sounds quite scary.
It does. But I do think that, and we do put that when we're talking about it, is if you don't want to change, then don't come on the program.
Yeah, don't come. But it doesn't have to be scary.
Yeah.
But it isn't someone that just wants to read human design charts. This is about real change and about being able to share it with other people as part of your business, as part of your daily practice, as part of life, and to know the power of it and literally walk the talk rather than just teaching the bits. So if you're a 1 energy and you need to know the details, this is for you. If you're a 2 energy, we will see you. We will see your innate brilliance. We will see it and we'll nurture it and we'll give you the space to be able to flourish. The 3 energies, like you, and the 6 energies, they literally are going in because they've had so much wisdom already in the way that they've learned through the life to get them to here. This is kind of taking it to the next level. So the 6 energy will become the true role model. And Dawn's one of our 6s, and she thought she was pretty sorted. She thought she'd done loads of work, and
we're never fully
sorted. And the 5 energy is, look, we're here to make changes in the world. This is also for you. So, and the 4 energies, this is a whole new community. You're not doing this on your own. So the 4 energy is all about community, family, and this is what we have. So it's space and freedom by design as a little community, and it is small. It's not hundreds of people, and that's by choice, right? Because we want to be able to hold the space.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, I want to look at my questions because we're being intentional about this one.
Do it, kid.
Talking about the beta, and we've talked about well-being affects all areas of life. It's not just mental and physical health, and about doing it properly for our people in our community and making sure that you understand yourself to every single part, from the type down to the gates and the circuitry, which won't make any sense to you right now, but just embodying it all. And for anyone that's been on any of my or our women's circles or my yoga and meditation and breathwork classes, you will know what I mean when we talk about embodiment. And it might not necessarily mean that anything happens in the class or in that moment, but the days and months following that, because you're changing your physical energy and your vibration in the body. And yes, we are all energy. Science tells us that we do change and things change, and it's about learning to trust, listening to the little voices inside, and again, going by your authority, whatever you are, and just trusting. For me, the trust thing is huge, and listening to that voice,
trust and surrendering. And again, that will depend on your design and how you're designed, but it's trusting the whole process. And I think the other thing that we do is also in this is, because there are some people that are on a path and they know where they're going and they want to go there and they'll stay on that path, but invariably things do change. So where they think they might be going might not necessarily be where they end up. And that's such a beautiful journey. And so some of ours have gone from like looking at the corporate world, how to use it in corporate, and then thinking, well, actually, this has happened in my life since I've started this. And I can see how we can use this in like children's or family therapy or family coaching. And and again, we've got another one that's social work, and then go, well, actually, we can then take that into schools as well. So that there's so many avenues to go down.
And team development in corporate.
Team development.
Individual development coaching.
Recruitment. And when we look at the trauma-informed stuff and we combine that, understanding people, teams, at a deeper level based on their design, even on a high level, like teaching a team the high level stuff, just to know that actually not everyone is designed to come up with the answer straight away. Not everyone is designed to have energy straight away. Not everyone is designed to pick up the phone and talk to someone. Not everyone is designed to go into a room and start conversations. It doesn't work like that. And so once you understand the nuances in your team, then you're going to have a better rapport, and you're going to be able to go, well, actually, she's really good at that. So there's no point in me feeling rubbish about it. So why don't we work it differently? And then literally play to our strengths. And then
results
what happens
come.
is the results come from that.
I'm more engaged because of it.
Yeah.
And less people leaving. So
yeah, and we've said this before on another podcast, but when companies recruit, generally they recruit on the basis of a CV than an interview, right? And when you go for an interview, you think, right, what do they want to hear? Because that's how we live.
Yeah,
what do they
yeah.
want to hear? What are the tick boxes so I can
let me
get this
say
job?
what we need to say so I
Yeah.
can get the job.
But every single employee, if you're listening to this and you've got a company or you've got people working for you, or you are that person that isn't fulfilled within their potential, these businesses are sitting on gold mines because they've got people that are able and to do and be so much more. But society's we're trying to fit these square pegs in square holes, and actually you've
Square
got
pegs round holes.
Well, no, they're fitting them in, aren't they? We're all just fitting into the system. But
Okay.
actually, if we just take away the shape of the hole and just go, right,
Yeah,
let's just
yeah.
let them be. How would you be able to benefit us outside of sort of the parameters of the job role?
You saying that as well has just sparked off a conversation I had with Josh, my son, the other day around, he was filling out a CV for an application for a college.
Oh,
Did I
yeah.
tell you this?
No?
This was at the weekend, and I said to him, have you done that CV yet? No, Mum, I'll do it. And I was like, okay, we need to do it because if you're not going to college in September, then you're going to be staying on in sixth form. And he was like, okay, I really want to go to college. I said, you need to do the CV and submit it. So it was a basic CV, and it was just asking him about is how he is in school, what grades does he expect to get, what does he enjoy doing in conjunction with the job that the apprenticeship he's applying for, which is electrical engineering.
Oh, cool.
So then it asked for like hobbies and interests, and I said to him, it would be good to say what you're really good at, but I said, be really honest with them and tell them what you don't enjoy as well, or there's certain things not to do with the job, but just have a really open and transparent piece, because it was like a personal statement.
Okay.
And he was like, I can't tell them that I'm not good at certain things, or like I don't have an interest. I said, no, do, because it's you're being really transparent, but you say it in a conversational, positive way. But he had this belief as I can't show my weaknesses, but you would call them areas of wisdom. But it's like, be honest. If you're not good at something or you don't want to do it, tell them. It's not a big deal. So we did it, and I looked at it and I amended a couple of the words and checked the grammar. You know what I mean?
you do.
Eyes. What do you say? Eyes
like a shithouse rat.
And it read really quick. It read really well. And I said, are you okay with that? Because this is your CV. And he went, you know what, Mum? Yeah. He said, because I kept thinking I'm going to have to like put this mask on and pretend like I've got to like be all important and official. And I said, that's not you though. I said, there's elements of that, but just be yourself.
Do you know, I love what you're saying. And just this morning, Gracie's got an interview this week. She's never had an interview in her life. Other than,
well, she's only 17.
Yeah. So she's going for a first proper interview. And I'm thinking, right, we're going to have to go and get you a suit or something. And she's went, Mum, I'm not wearing a bloody suit. So I said, well, you can't wear your jeans. She went, Mum, I'm not going to pretend I'm something that I'm not. And I just thought, yes, that's my girl. And I just thought.
But isn't it funny the way you've gone into for an interview? Because
my conditioning is you wear a suit, and she went, and I'm not wearing heels either. I went, no.
Because I was going to have packed a pair of like little like flattish heels for her, and I thought, you know what, she won't wear them.
She might, you know.
Well, they're there in the because they've never been worn. I've got loads of corporate stuff that I've never worn.
Well, she's a bridesmaid for Alpha in May, and she wants to wear Doc Martens with a bridesmaid's dress.
Is she getting? Are they
I have no
her?
idea. I'm not getting involved.
I think that's dead trendy, to be fair. But yeah, again, it's that whole thing of we don't need to dress like that anymore.
I love
certain environments people do.
Yeah.
And if you like dressing like that, absolutely, go for it.
I like the fact that she's now learned that it's okay to be herself.
Yeah.
And she's happy, and she'll say it back.
Yeah.
And she said, if they don't like what they see, they don't like what they see, but at least I've not been something that I'm not.
Exactly.
That's my girl.
And then she's remind you back then. I love that because it's the mirror of stuff. Because Josh will say stuff to me and I go, I've taught you well, because he's reminding me of stuff that I need to work on.
And it's so helpful. And the other thing with the kids thing, it's almost when you know the dynamics in your family, then people aren't just being awkward and they're not being bad. They're just being as they're designed to be. And if you work with that, like I've got a friend who is like you, she'll climb up mountains and all the rest of it. But her daughter is a manifestor. And manifestors don't have, they don't do what they don't want to do. And they don't have access to energy all of the time. And she thinks, she's just being lazy. And I go, she's not being lazy. She just doesn't have the energy. So all you do is...
she might not want to do it.
Yeah. And so it's a case of just, yes, but no. It's a case of it's giving them the freedom to be the manifestor that they are. Yeah. It is amazing. And it is a different way of thinking, but it is fascinating. And we've never met one person yet that doesn't resonate with their design. And we've talked to thousands. Yeah.
Okay, so that was us. Just wanted to really just delve into that a little bit more, and about personal development. Is if whatever realm that you're in personal development, whether you're a therapist, a healer, a coach,
an employer,
a leader, or a heart-led leader,
a mother,
a parent, father, school teachers. This can be for you. And if you are interested in looking into our accreditation, we will leave the link to the information to the page on our next cohort, which starts on the 25th of June 2024.
I think the other thing to know, just before you close, Claire, is that in human design theory, we live in paradigms. And we've been in this paradigm for hundreds of years. But in human design theory, we're about to step into a new paradigm in 2027. And this is more of a deliberate paradigm. So we've lived and survived. The last paradigm's all been about survival and about creating and building society. But it's been about the doing. The doing. And we are stepping now into the more feminine paradigm of doing things that feel good. And there's no surprise that we're becoming more aware. There's no surprise that people are questioning the status quo. People are questioning the patriarchy. And it's almost like we're going to be switching into this more of a matriarchy, or again, it's starting. And
it feels different. It feels lighter. Well, it will.
Yeah, it does feel lighter.
I don't know whether we'll see it in our lifetime, but this is...
We're definitely seeing the start of it.
We're seeing the start of it. But if we can begin to look and feel into things differently and, support humanity and the planet, that's why I'm doing it.
Well, why you're doing it. We're 5 energies, and that's why we're here. So if you want to know any more about it, the accreditation is going to be for a small group of people. So if you
12 months.
For 12 months, it's a 12-month journey. So if you want to talk to us about it, we are having connection calls, aren't we?
But everything will be on the sales page in the show notes.
Everything will be on the sales page in the show notes.
So thank you for listening. Feel free to share this podcast with anyone else who you think may be interested in human design or personal development, and we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening. Namaste.
From Claire, who is a 3-5 sacral generator. And I will say ta-ra, and I'm a 5-1 emotional manifesting generator. So see you soon.